I used to work the late shift at a small, rundown diner just outside of town. It wasn't a bad job, but the hours were exhausting. By the time I got off at 2 a.m., the streets were empty, and the only sound was the hum of the occasional car passing by. One night, as I was locking up and heading to my car, I noticed an old rusted sedan parked across the street. The headlights were off, but something about it made me uneasy. I wasn't sure why, but I felt like I was being watched. I brushed it off as paranoia and drove home. But the next night, the car was there again. Same spot. Same eerie feeling. I looked inside as I walked to my car, but I couldn't see anyone. Maybe someone had abandoned it? But then it started showing up in different places. Outside my job, parked a few spots away at the grocery store, even outside my apartment complex. I started getting that gut feeling, the one that tells you something is wrong, even if you can't explain why. One night, I was extra careful. I left work and took a different route to my car. I scanned the area and didn't see the sedan. I sighed in relief. Maybe I had imagined the whole thing. But just as I reached for my car door, I heard footsteps behind me. Slow, deliberate. I turned around, and there he was, a middle-aged man with greasy hair, standing just a few feet away, his hands buried in the pockets of a tattered hoodie. "Need a ride?" he asked, his voice eerily calm. My stomach twisted. I didn't respond. Instead, I threw open my car door, jumped inside, and locked it. My fingers were shaking as I fumbled for the keys. The man didn't move. He just stood there, staring at me through the windshield with a grin that sent ice down my spine. As soon as the engine roared to life, I sped out of the parking lot, checking my rearview mirror the whole time. He was still there, standing in the same spot, watching me leave. The police weren't much help. They told me they couldn't do anything unless he actually threatened me or tried to hurt me. The next night, I had a friend walk me to my car. The sedan never showed up again. I don't know what he wanted, and I don't want to. But sometimes, late at night, I still get that feeling that someone is watching. I moved into my apartment alone after a bad breakup. It wasn't the nicest place, but it was mine, and I finally felt like I had some independence. The complex was small, mostly young professionals and a few elderly tenants. It felt safe, until the notes started showing up. The first one was innocent enough. I came home from work one evening and found a small, folded piece of paper under my door. "I like your red dress." I had worn a red dress the night before while taking my dog for a walk. My first thought was that it was a secret admirer. Maybe someone had a crush on me? It was a little odd, but not exactly threatening. Then, a few days later, another note appeared. "Your hair looked nice when you had it up yesterday." That's when I started feeling uneasy. Whoever was leaving these notes wasn't just admiring me from afar. They were watching me, paying close attention to my daily routine. More notes followed, each more unsettling than the last. "You shouldn't leave your window open at night. I love hearing your voice when you talk on the phone." My stomach would drop every time I found one. Someone was studying my habits, noting what I wore, how I styled my hair, what time I came home. I told my landlord, who changed my locks. I reported it to the police, but they said there wasn't much they could do. I tried to ignore it, but I couldn't shake the feeling that someone was watching me. Then, one night, I woke up to the sound of rustling outside my bedroom window. My heart pounded. I slowly crept to the window and peeked through the blinds. A dark figure was standing there, staring directly into my room. I screamed. The figure bolted. This time, the police took me seriously. They searched the property and found scratches on my window frame, as if someone had been trying to pry it open. Eventually, they caught the man, a guy who lived in my building. He had made a copy of my key. I moved out the next week. I don't know what he wanted, and I don't care to find out. But the thought of how close he got, how he could have gotten inside while I slept, still haunts me. It started with a phone call. "Hello?" I answered. Silence, then breathing. I hung up, annoyed. Probably a prank, but it happened again the next night. Same time, same heavy breathing. After the third call, I blocked the number. But somehow they kept calling, always from different numbers. My stomach churned every time my phone rang. Then, strange things started happening. One evening, I came home late from work. Something felt off. My apartment looked slightly different. My bed was slightly unmade, my kitchen drawer was open, and my closet door, usually shut, was open just a crack. I tried to convince myself I had left it that way, but deep down, I knew better. That night, the phone rang again. "I see you." I froze. My hands went numb as I gripped the phone. "Who are you?" I whispered. Laughter. Then the call ended. I barely slept. The next morning, I found something taped to my apartment door, a Polaroid photo. It was a picture of me, sleeping in my own bed. Panic surged through me. I packed a bag and left town that same day, crashing at a friend's place for a while. The police took the case seriously, but they never found out who had been calling me or how they had gotten inside my apartment. I never went back. Even now, I can't sleep without checking every lock, every closet, every corner of the room. I still don't know who they were, and that terrifies me the most. Stalker horror stories are terrifying because they remind us that sometimes the real monsters aren't supernatural, they're human. The fear of being watched, followed, or having your personal space invaded is something that lingers long after the threat is gone. These 3 true stories show how easily an ordinary life can turn into a nightmare when someone with dark intentions refuses to stay away. It's a chilling reminder to always trust your instincts, stay aware of your surroundings, and take threats seriously. If you ever feel like someone is watching or following you, don't ignore it. Report it. Tell someone. Your safety is always the priority. Stay safe out there, because you never know who might be watching.